and welcome to our Crew 2 review. I'm Zoe and I'm here with Alex.
Hello.
Who's reviewed the game for us and is going to tell us exactly what he thinks of it. So, first question, obviously, is it an improvement upon the sequel?
Definitely. To be honest, the first Crew wasn't great. It had ambition. Obviously, you could travel around the entire United States, but it had a lot of problems. More than anything, it just felt grindy in a bad kind of Ubisoft open world kind of way. But this is far better. Ubisoft is sort of they've said very clearly that they've listened to the critics of the original. It's like more open, more free. The story is basically non-existent, which is actually quite a good thing, because the first game's story was all over the place in all sorts of ways. And it's really simple. You just got to be the best racer in America. Got to rack up the follower count, obviously.
They love their followers, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's a strange thing. And yeah, just the racing feels purer. There's boats, there's planes, there's monster trucks. Yeah, everything you can imagine. So absolutely it's better than the original.
So I guess the other obvious question is, what's the actual racing like?
It's good. It's not as in-depth as something like Gran Turismo, and it's not as, rip-roaring as something like Forza Horizon, mainly because it does so many things at once. Obviously, if you're trying to make a boat racing game as well as a plane game, you can only do so well in both. But it all feels great, like nothing sort of stood out as bad or anything like that. And the car racing is definitely still the best in terms of how it handles. It all feels like very professional and like sophisticated, which is good.
That's what you want in an actual racing game, is to feel like a professional. In your review, you use the phrase "jack of all trades but master of none." So why did you choose that phrase in particular?
Like I said, it's mainly because it's trying to do so many things at once. You want to. One minute you're in a boat, you're racing against other boats. The second minute you're doing sort of freestyle challenges in the air, and then you could be doing something like a proper hardcore racing circuit sim. Then you could be doing Need for Speed style drag racing in San Francisco or whatever. There's so many different things to do, which is obviously great. It just doesn't excel at any of them. I was never like, wow, this is like the best racing experience I've ever had in any of them, which is fine. It's just perhaps racing enthusiasts might be a little disappointed by the fact that there's not enough depth in any particular lane or discipline.
Interesting. So also, there's no offline mode. Does that get irritating?
Yeah, so this was a criticism of the first one as well, in that Ubisoft designed it as a shared open world, which does mean it's always online. You don't need a PS Plus or Xbox Gold subscription to play it, but it does mean you won't be able to play with friends if you don't have either of those. But yeah, it does mean that if you don't have an internet connection, you can't play the Crew 2, which kind of sucks a bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's annoying me just hearing it, but okay.
Yeah. And it does mean that everything takes a little longer to load depending on how your internet connection is. Mine is fine at home, but I found that when I was sort of in the menus or going from the from the map to the gameplay, it just was loading with sort of clearly loading in online assets from the server, which is a bit of a pain. But at the end of the day, it does mean you sort of get to explore the entire, the entire country of America with friends. So it's a small concession for what is really quite a lot of big ambition.
For the power of friendship as well,
exactly,
to race around with your friends. So Alex and I have been wrestling over the pronunciation of this word, but I'm just going to go for fast fav because why not?
That's how it's spelt. There's no E on the
Exactly,
end.
So we're going to say fast fav. So there is a fast fav mechanic, and you really liked it. Tell me more about it.
It's the best new thing about this game. So fast fav, or fast fave, depending on where you come from, I guess, is basically the ability to switch between land, sea or air vehicle whenever you want. I've compared it to sort of like the ease of switching between weapons in like a first-person shooter before, in that you simply just hold a button. On the PS4 it's the R3 button, and you can choose and you sort of select your vehicle of choice, and you're instantly switching to that vehicle. And what that means is, not only does it sort of just liberate the entire playground to make it far more open, but it's just got this kind of experimental craziness to it now, where 1 minute you could be sliding down the Las Vegas pyramid in a boat because you've switched from a plane to a boat.
Duh.
Why would you not
Obviously.
do that? Yeah. The next minute you're driving a monster truck off the Empire State Building, and yeah, it's all sort of that player driven creativity which just makes it a lot of fun, especially with friends. You know, if you sort of come up with stuff together, and with the photo mode, you can have a lot of fun with that. So yeah, the only downside of Fast Fav is that they don't really incorporate it into the actual races very much.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. So, you know, it'd be nice to have some sort of challenge. I could see them incorporating the mechanic into events more, you know, holistically. But they just don't. There's a couple of races called the live extreme races where you sort of automatically change from a boat to a car to a plane. But there's no sort of technicality or challenge to it, which feels like wasted potential more than anything else.
Also sounds like stupid good fun, just be able to change your vehicle whenever.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And because obviously Fast Fav, as it implies, it's always your favourite plane or your favourite boat or your favourite car. Yeah, the world really is your oyster in terms of what it, you know, opens up for you.
So I'm going to say a word which gamers just love to hear, heavy sarcasm there, microtransactions.
Yeah.
Are there microtransactions, Alex?
Well, is this a Ubisoft game?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there are. And basically there's a loot system. There's not loot boxes, which you'll be pleased to hear. I feel like there probably was at one point, and then
you're like, nah.
2017 happened.
Let's
so
just
like,
not.
Let's not do that. Yeah, so there's loot. You basically, every event you do, you get sort of these glowing orbs dropped from the sky, like Destiny style again. And they're sort of parts for your vehicle, and they have rarity tiers. And then there's sort of a twofold economy in that you have normal regular cash, and then like I think they're called crew points, and you can buy crew points with real world money. And what that means is you can just get, you know, the best cars. If you pay X amount of real world money, you're going to get the best vehicles quicker than everybody else.
And that's the best vehicles in terms of stats, not just cosmetically.
No, not just cosmetically, although you probably will look a lot better than everybody else. But yeah, there is a whole stat system, meaning that, yeah, you will be better. The thing is, though, there is no real competitive element to the Crew 2, so it's not explicitly pay to win. I mean, there are leaderboards and stuff, but you'll never be racing against anyone else. You'll just be racing with other people as part of your crew. So they've sort of slyly navigated that issue there. But it's still something to take note of. Still
a little bit dodgy, I think. And if you're racing with your crew, if one of you wins the race and you're in dead last place, then you still get the rewards, right?
Yeah, and that's really cool. So, as the title assumes, crews are basically, I think it's up to 4, you and 3 other people. You can sort of band together and explore the entire country together. And yeah, you take part in races together. And only one of you has to win to make sure all of you, and it counts as all of you winning. So it's a great way to get loot quickly, basically. And yeah, just ups your chances of victory even more, because it can be quite difficult at times. Some of the hard races, if you play on the hard mode for more loot, yeah, the AI is pretty challenging and tough. So if you have someone you know, or just a random stranger you meet in the world, you join up with a crew and they've got a really good car and they, you know, get to first dead easy, and you come dead last, you're still
winning,
it
mate.
Still counts as you coming first, which feels a bit bit like cheating, but you know, it's fine because it's official.
Let's just call it the power of friendship.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly.
So I guess the last question is, how many stars are you giving it?
We are giving the Crew 2 3.5 out of 5 stars. Better than the first. Still room for improvement. But I really like it, and I think it's a lot of fun.
Awesome, great. Thanks, Alex. So that's what we think of the Crew 2. Let us know whether you liked playing it in the comments below. Click the box on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle for more gaming news, reviews, previews, and features right here on Games Radar.
Somebody's cheating.